Hi, my name's Rachel Andrews. Welcome to Everyday Athlete. On this week's video, I thought we'd have a little chat about goggles. So I've decided to tackle this topic because I have bought plenty of different types of goggles in my time, and I've now found my favourite. However, I went to order another pair because I've damaged the current pair, and I thought that they'd stop making them altogether. So that threw me into a little bit of panic, and I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna have to choose some more and start from scratch, and it's not so easy to try them on. So I thought we'd go through how to find the right goggles for you. There's so much choice. How do you decide? How do you know which ones are good for outdoor swimming, which are good for the pool, which are going to fit your face? How do you make the choice? Let's dip into that. Buying a pair of goggles and getting it right first time can seem like quite a daunting activity, but fear not, here's a couple of strategies that you might want to try. First off, you could try going to a sports shop where you'll be able to actually try them on your face. The other thing to do would be to order a few that look like they might be the kind of thing you're looking for, and then try them out at home. But the big thing with that is to check the returns policy of the company that you're using. The thing we want to check first of all is the fit, and we'll know immediately on the fit whether or not the things are going to leak. Let me show you. Leave the strap to the back, and we're just going to test the gasket against our face. So push it in, push it against your face, and when you let go it should stay there for a second, or a second, maybe one or two, but not much longer than that. So it fits really well on my right eye, but slightly too clingy on the left. This is a pair that I'm about to replace, so I'm not too surprised by that. The next thing to think about is comfort, and on these, lots of them have got adjustable bridges, meaning that you can take this off, and they come with probably 3 options. Most of the goggles I've bought recently have got 3 different options, and you just need to find the one that places it correctly on your face where it feels comfy. The next thing to think about is the straps. So when it's got the split strap, that's going to give a better fit. So when you put them on, the bottom strap should be in line with your eyes at the back of your head, like this. And then the other one is going to be slightly higher, slightly spreading the load. These shouldn't be tight because they are just kind of holding them in place. They're not suctioning them to your face. If you're trying to crank on the straps to make it fit better, then you've got the wrong goggles. They're not the right fit for you. And the third thing is, they should always give you a clear view. So lots of them now come with anti-fog coating, but not all, so it's worth checking. But if they don't have an anti-fog coating, you shouldn't be paying very much for them. But all's not lost, because I find that's the thing that goes first on my goggles. Almost certainly the anti-fog stops working before the silicone or anything else degrades, and you can get anti-fog products for that. I'll talk about that in a little while. There's a number of different kinds of goggles that you might come across. There are the ones which are very closely fitted inside the eye socket, which you'll see on the Olympics and stuff, and then there are ones that you just see in general use in the pool, which just look like normal goggles. And then also you've got mask types, which are generally used for outdoor swimming. So we're going to have a little look at the differences there. I've got a couple of different types of goggles which I like to use for swimming. These ones will definitely only be used outdoors, but these ones I might use in the pool or outdoors. They've both got their merits. These ones have a huge field of vision all the way around, and with that nice gasket, they tend to fit pretty nice and snugly. They're pretty good choice for if you're going for an exploration swim or you want to see what's out and about under the water. This type I tend to use if I'm doing some training. I'll use them in the pool and in the sea or in the river, and because of their design, it's quite a wide design compared to the smaller goggles that you see racers using. You've also got quite a good field of vision in this type. One thing I should point out is that most manufacturers do prescription goggles, so if you usually wear glasses, getting some prescription goggles could really take your swimming to a new dimension. The next thing to consider is the lens colour. So clear lenses are brilliant in low light or cloudy conditions and also good in pools. Mirrored ones are great in sunshine and really reduce the glare, so it makes your eyes less tired to use them. Tinted ones are good give you kind of medium protection from sunlight, and are probably quite good in a well-lit indoor pool as well, so this could be multi-use. There are another couple of types of lens as well, and that is polarized, which is absolutely brilliant for taking out the glare and for bringing up the contrast, so you see really well with those, but they tend to be quite a bit more expensive. And the other ones, the more expensive ones than that even, would be photochromatic ones, where they will react to the light, and so they will be clearer or more tinted depending on the light conditions you're facing. Again, a more expensive one, so I haven't got any. No matter which goggles you go for, they are all delicate, so you need to look after them to prolong their life. One thing you need to do is, no matter whether you're swimming in chlorine or salt water or fresh water, you need to rinse them off in clean fresh water and then dry them naturally in the air. But don't sit them in the sun to dry them, just leave them maybe in the shower or somewhere to nicely dry off. I dried these by standing them to dry on a windowsill like this, but the weight of the goggle bent the silicone and now they leak, so just be really careful how you're drying them. Just take that one from me and save your own goggles. Now to looking after them when you're transporting them to and from your swim. Think about keeping them in some kind of a pouch, so the more expensive ones come with a pouch, but you can also buy a pouch, and I've got this one, which is made from recycled wetsuits by Lorna Doyle, and I think her company is the Wetsuit Rescue Company. I'll pop it in the description below. But I just put my goggles into one of these, zip it up, and away I go. I know it's nice and protected because it's cushioned by neoprene, and it's got a little shiny inner to it as well. But I don't leave them in there wet. I always dry them out first. And probably the simplest thing you can do is to raid that spare sock drawer. Don't just throw away spare socks. Think about what you could do with them. I put goggles in mine, and also GoPros, to be honest. But again, a really nice way to look after them. It stops them getting scratched, but obviously doesn't provide much padding, so you need to still be careful how you're putting them in your bag. I tend to find that normally it's the anti-fog that goes on my goggles way before the silicone. So there's a number of things you can do. Lots of the manufacturers have got their own goggle defog. I tend to use this mask defog, which is environmentally friendly, and I find this works a treat. I only put a little dot in each lens, and then yes, you do have to gently rub it around, but make sure that it was previously dry with no sand or anything in it, and then you just flush it out, and that tends to work for maybe 4 or 5 swims before I have to reapply it. So a really good product for making sure that you keep your goggles going for as long as possible. Once you have decided that your goggles have reached end of life, and for me these ones are all scratched on the inside, the pair that have got the wonky silicone, what you can do is send them to be recycled to a specialist centre. So I pop them in an envelope and send them over to these guys, and what they do with them is either they get reused if they're still in a usable condition, they're sent to a charity which helps people get into swimming, and otherwise if they're unusable then they are recycled at a specialist centre to make sure as much of the parts are used as possible. Now, goggles are not for everyone. It might be that you just think, you know, I always swim heads up, but they can add an extra dimension and let you see what's going on underneath the water and spot lots of interesting stuff. So I really enjoy having a look and listening to the birds and looking out to see what's on the surface. But also, when it's warm enough to put my face in, I love looking underneath and watching the aquatic plants just dancing in the water and the tiny fish that you spot in there as well. It's really rare to see anything big because you've already scared it away because you're bigger than it. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the video and that you found some useful tips, especially if you're thinking about buying a pair of goggles to get yourself out and about and looking under the water. If you did enjoy it, please consider subscribing to my channel by clicking on my face and dinging the little bell, and you'll know when the next one's out. And I'll see you next time. Bye!